Hey everybody.
Hi.
Hi. So we're going to try this. I have no idea how well it's going to work, but let's find out. Welcome to Stone Table Studio. This is my table that my husband made me, made of stone. And we're going to try to do art lessons right from here. So let's see how it goes. Today we're going to try to make some stained glass art. And if you have a coloring book, even if it's an old beat up coloring book, you can pick out a picture from that. And once you do that, you're going to cut the picture out of the coloring book. So get looking through that while I go through some of the other materials that you'll need to gather. So cut it out as close to the edge as you can. Today we're going to need glue. You probably don't have a big container as I do. But,
I got it for Christmas.
But glue, paint brushes, Sharpie markers, tissue paper. So hopefully your parents might have a stash of tissue paper somewhere for wrapping presents, or maybe you've got some in old shoe boxes, things like that. If you don't have colored tissue paper, you can color your own tissue paper. I've done this one using just regular markers, okay? So the only thing, if you color your own tissue paper, the colors are going to bleed a little bit, which is okay. It's a different look. It's something fun.
Use a paper cutter. Just for the cutting out
of
it.
Stop.
Why? How'd you do that?
There you go. So if you want to
get your parents to do it.
Yeah, if you want to rip a page out of a book, let's see. Do I want to do angels? Maybe I want to do angels.
Is this holly or mistletoe?
That looks like holly. Okay.
Holly berries red?
I don't know. Oh, I'm going to do this one. A dove. Okay? And it doesn't have to be a religious themed thing, but we just happen to have this coloring book, and I've taken almost all our other coloring books into school. So rip the page carefully out of the coloring book.
Or cut it if you didn't know what you were supposed to do.
One other thing that you are going to need for this. Oh, can you pause it? Sorry, we have a phone call coming.
Oh, God.
We're back. One other thing that you're going to need is some kind of clear plastic. You know I'm big on recycling, guys, so use something that's recycled if you can. This is just the inside pocket to a notebook.
We probably have one in our folders.
Yeah. Another thing you could use are old salad containers like this. Okay, you can see I've already put a stained glass part on that one, but you can take the lid off and it's already flat. So today Lydia and I are going to use this. We're both going to use this. Don't worry about it. All right. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Okay, so since this thing has two sides to it, I'm going to just cut it so that it separates. Because you only need a single sheet.
And I get the other.
And be careful if you have to force this apart that you don't tear it.
I think you'll have to cut the other side.
Yeah, I will have to cut the other sides, but I might be able to just tear the other sides. Like so. And then I'm going to, hopefully this will tear right down the, I don't know if this one will tear because it's not perforated. No, that one's not going to tear. So I'm just going to cut it. And we're just kind of learning this ourselves together. So it may be a little bit awkward at first because I haven't done this on this particular thing in a long time. Although I have done stained glass art before. If any of you have been up the Children's Theater, there's a big stained glass window up there that I did out of all tissue paper. So, take.
It looks really good.
Where's my sheet?
Right there.
Oh, I
Clear,
couldn't see it. So take your image that you have, and if you don't have an image, if you don't have a coloring book, here's a fun thing that you can do.
You can print it out on the internet.
You can draw right on your plastic with a Sharpie marker. But if you draw on your plastic with a Sharpie marker, make sure that you don't glue on the same side that you drew on. So flip it over. If I draw on this side, then flip it over after it's dry so it won't transfer, and do the gluing on the opposite side. So if you are going to use a coloring book page, lay that flat and then lay your plastic right over top of it. Okay?
Wait.
And if you want, you can tape it down so it doesn't move. But
Yeah,
you don't, you may not have to do that.
I want to do that.
Okay, you have to go grab tape then if you want to do that. Okay, because I'm not going to do that. All right. Then all we're going to do is take out tissue paper. I have a lot of tissue paper. Let's try to keep this not blocking the camera, okay? So that they can see what we're doing.
Okay. Tape.
And I'll move the camera a little bit closer once we get going. And again, parents, this is like recycled.
Tape.
Came in gifts. I just folded it up and squirreled it away for art projects and such.
She just keeps it.
I do. So make use of the things that you already have. All right. So now what you're going to do is you're just going to start looking for colors that you want in certain areas.
Yellow.
And we're going to put a little bit of blue.
Is there no yellow?
I don't have yellow, but I've got this. Or I do.
Red.
Yeah, there's red.
Red.
There's a little bit of yellow on this lid.
Okay.
Okay.
Green.
We're going to put a little bit of blue
Purple.
on. This is an old meat tray. Use them for all sorts of things.
Wait,
so,
that's what those are?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that came with our vegetables.
No.
Something new. Oh, blue.
So a little puddle of glue. Don't overdo the glue. You can always add more. You don't have to use a meat tray. You can use whatever container you want. I just like to use these. They wash off well. And then I've got 3 different sizes of paintbrushes here. What you're going to do is you're going to make sure you know which area you're going to work on. And you're going to paint that area with the glue. So right now, I'm going to start right out. I'm going to do his little beak and his feet. Okay, so I'm only going to put glue on those places first. And I may even rip off little pieces of tissue paper first. Okay, so is there what?
Brown.
No brown. But you can make colors too, guys.
How?
Think, remember?
Oh, green.
What
red.
colors do you add together to make other colors?
Green and red.
So she wants brown. She's going to add green and red.
You can't make yellow.
You can't really make yellow, but you can do it with a marker. Okay. So I want.
Oh wait, that one's.
I want this beak to be kind of yellowy. I don't have yellow. I'm going to use a little bit of green. And
Mom, it's not making brown.
It won't until you put the glue on it.
How do I know it's going to be the right shade of brown?
You don't. You don't.
That's horrible.
We're all inventing this.
Okay, so I'm gonna do the leaves first. No, I'm gonna do the purple first.
Okay.
I like purple.
So I'm going to use a small brush because this is a tiny area. And I'm just going to paint right on the plastic. Make sure it's lined up.
I need to also tiny bit.
Do you? Okay, hold on just a second.
No,
and try to stay basically within the lines. Okay, for now. If it overlaps a little, that's fine. Doesn't really matter. But I'm filling in a little bit of paint here. And now I'm going to take, this one is the one that I hand colored, and I'm going to rip little pieces, teeny little pieces off, and put them right over top of the glue. I didn't hand color brown, sorry.
Brown's a such
And
a common
if
color.
the piece that you've ripped off is a little bit too big, take the opposite end of your paintbrush and just push it onto the spot where you've got the glue, okay?
Here, here's what I'm gonna do. Mom, can I have the scissors? Because this is straight.
Yep.
So I'm going to unfold the purple.
All right. And you may need to add a dab of glue over top of it too, okay? Just to hold down the little pieces that you've folded back. The closer you can get to the right size. You can also, if you want areas that are darker, like for dimension, to add dimension to it, you can put more than one layer of paper down. Okay, so here you can't see what I'm doing because we have paper all over here. I'm going to bring it up and around. Put a little more glue on this so I've got it.
Or you can scooch it closer. Do this.
See how I've covered up, oh, my thing's moving. See how I've covered up those areas?
I would do that, but two reasons. Mine's taped down and I haven't glued anything on it yet.
And I'm just going to put these little pieces on there.
Oh, where's my glue?
And it's okay if you get glue on the other places, okay? Because once this glue dries, it's going to dry fairly clear.
Hopefully. Or if you make slime like me, you can color it. It's pretty.
All right. And I guess I'm not going to put the green on there. Okay, so I've got his feet and his beak with the yellow. Now I'm going to just go through and I'm going to do some of the other colors. And I'm not going to make you watch all that, so I'm going to stop and start
Press the pause
to
button,
show
not
you
the
how
stop
that
button.
works, okay?
Press the pause.
Where's the pause? Right there?
That one.
All right. Thanks. Hi, we're back. We're going to show you our progress so far. So this is Lydia's. She's been adding pieces. And see on the cross where she's got red, there's green underneath it. She has layered the two colors.
So hopefully it will make brown.
And remember, if you check these out, unless the light is streaming through it, it will still stay dull looking. But once the light is streaming through it, it brightens it up. And then there is mine. I've added layers of green and red. I think that shows. All right, I'm going to keep going, but on my dove, I am probably going to do large pieces of white, but with pieces of blue showing through where I want them. So remember, mix up your tissue paper a little bit, add colors, and make it unique, okay? And you can rip it, you can cut it, whatever. All right, I'm gonna pause again. Keep working, and sometimes take a break if this gets too long and fiddly. Okay, you can always come back to it. This could be a project that goes on for several days if you want. Okay.
You're now unpaused.
Okay, well, working on this dove, what I have done is I actually cut out some shapes that were approximately what I wanted for the wings and the dove. And I laid on the first one, but now I want this center part of the dove to be a little brighter white. So I'm just breaking off little pieces, ripping off little pieces, and gluing them on over top. And what that will do is increase the opacity or the, I don't know, denseness of the color. So if I just have this single white on, it's going to be white,
but not very
but
white.
right, not very white. It's kind of clear. So by doing that, and then I'm going to take little bits of different blues. I have a lot of blues here, and I'm just going to add them.
Slammed on you.
I'm going to add them on top of this so that I get some blue in here in my wing. And I don't want it double though, and I also don't want it a hard edge. So yeah, go ahead and say something.
And the reason it's on top is because you're going to be viewing through the other side.
Yeah.
So my mom and I tested what made a better brown, green on top of red or red on top of green, and it was green on top of red.
But try your own colors because you may have different shades of tissue paper.
But also, so we actually had to put them on green on the bottom and then red, because if we did that, we would see green and then red behind it, and it made it brown.
See now how I'm putting this blue along the outside of the main body of the bird? I'm following the line of the bird, but what that will do is create kind of a shadow effect, which will be really nice.
And I have leaves. I have added leaves, and that's basically it.
Okay.
I'm gonna go put you back now.
Move you back and forth.
Goodbye. You'll see us in a second, but we won't see you.
Okay, back again, and I'm going to show you what I've done. Can you see it? I layered colored tissue paper on top of the white tissue paper for the bird. It's still wet, so I'm going to let it dry. Even though it has only been about 18 minutes here, it's actually taken about an hour and a half. So this is fiddly. You can spend a lot of time or a little time. It's sometimes fun just to do colors too, random colors, which I think I'm going to do around the outside of the bird. So I will pick this back up when it is all dry, and we can show you the next step, because you have to let it dry entirely before the next step.
Slime.
Okay.
Slime.
Hey everyone. So I'm going to end up doing this, closing this video out and sending a second one because my computer's running out of charge, and I want to show you how to do the second half of this. But for now, this is my project. Okay. I took an oval piece of blue tissue paper and put it over the whole thing. And you'll see after it dries how we finish it off to make it really, really look like stained glass, which is cool. And Lydia wants you to see her slime. So, and she did a really great job.
I'm not done yet.
On hers, but she's not done yet.
I made a cloud.
Because she took time to make slime.
I made a cloud.
So anyhow, tune back in for part 2 of Stone Table Studio. All right. Bye. God bless you.
Bye.